Hey guys, how's it going? Tim back with another video. Today I am at Jackson Park, which is a disc golf course. I will be playing a practice round here because I have a tournament that's going to take place here tomorrow, which is on Saturday. So that will be fun. I'm going to do post commentary on this. I just wanted to give you guys an intro, but I'm going to do post commentary on this so that I can kind of focus on the round and not worry about ruining my mics if it rains, because as you can see it's kind of cloudy out here. So I will see you guys on the course, and I'm going to turn it over to Post Commentary Tim. Hey guys, what's up? Post Commentary Tim here to bring you my first ever post commentary. Let's see how we do here. So, hole 1 is 312 foot downhill hole. Play is usually to go right up the middle through the trees. I kind of sawed this one off and put a little too much hyzer on it, so this was actually my first throw of the day, so, you know, it happens. And we are going to do 2 off the top here. The second one we're throwing, you know, this is my wind play. If it's a little windy outside, we go around the outside of the right side tree and swing it back into the left. I do unfortunately clip the outside tree there. End up a little bit short, but could be worse. So we're going to go ahead and play from our first here. This is, yeah, like a 40-footer, and it's my first putt of the day, so yep, there it goes. Not ideal, certainly, but we will move on after taking a par on the first. Second hole is a par 4, 438 feet. There is our first red basket. During the tournament, we play to the reds first and the yellows second. I'm going to be doing the yellows in this video. And basically the same shot to both, as you'll see shortly here. You know, we threw that pretty dang well, ended up right next to the red basket. That would be an easy birdie on the reds. We are going to throw across this lake over to the yellow basket now. So let's see how this goes. You know, it leaves us with about 180 to 200 feet, so nice easy arowana can get us over there and sit down nicely. And we are going to head over there and take our putt, and we'll see how we do. So, on this one, we definitely float it and hit the top of the basket. So, it looks like we are going to end up with a par on this one, which is fine. Not too bad about taking a par. And then we will work our way on to hole 3. Hole 3 is a 369-foot par 3. It is straight uphill and over to the left, as you can see kind of where those cars just passed by. It is over there. We're throwing the Tempest here. This hole plays like 460 feet, I swear. So there's basically a few landing zones. I landed in the further up of the 2. And it's basically just a flat spot. That's what the landing zones are. So we are throwing a putter here. We're just going to do a little jump putt. End up coming out a little bit early with it, but it leaves us an easy putt for par. Hole 4 is a 247-foot par 3. There's 2 pin positions. It is currently playing down to the right. So we're going to throw our koi here on just a nice easy turnover line. We're going to put it on some slight hyzer. It's going to turn a little bit too far, and it ends up hitting a tree and giving us actually a pretty good look for our birdie. Let's see if we can make our first putt here. Stepping up to this birdie. And we did it. There we go. We will take our 2. Love to see. Now, hole 5 used to be nice and easy. It used to be about I want to say like 230 feet or so. It's nice and short. It is now 326 feet, and it is a little bit of a tough line. We're going to take kind of the high hyzer line here. It is going to get way left, but as long as you get far enough, it does leave you with a decent putt. So let's see what we're looking at when we get up there. Oh, just kidding. We're going to try the Volt as well. Beautiful dyed disc here. So let's see how this thing plays out. And that's not great. But I think we might as well just play both here and just see what happens, you know? Because what if I end up here in the tournament? We definitely want to know how to play from this location. So from the Volt, we are going to throw the Harp and just try and get a nice little approach here. Out of the hand. Looks perfect. And, you know, spoiler alert, once we get up there, we do find out that it is indeed perfect. So that'll be easy for the par. This is where the original shot landed, the FD1. We're just going to take a little jumper at it with the arowana, just because it's nice and soft, so it is not likely to roll super far or skip or anything. give it a good run. It kind of flashes the front of the basket, but doesn't end up going in. So we'll take our par on both. All right, now we've got hole 6. It's a par 4, 372 feet uphill through the woods. Can be a tricky one. We're throwing an FD here. Kind of go down the right side and get fairly lucky with trees. End up in the fairway, so we'll definitely take that. Nothing wrong with that. And we're going to come up here to our approach shot. This is not a terrible place to be at all. All you really need here is just a nice little forehand hyzer, kind of in that back door line that you see there. Ends up clipping a tree and not getting quite as close as we would have liked, but you know, what can you do? You gotta love the harp. Best disc ever. Alright, so now we have our little jump putt here with an arowana. Behind the basket, there is a big drop off, so arowana is definitely the best play here. Maybe it wasn't a jumper, but we leave that one wide, and of course the P1 goes in, but we'll take our par. Second one always goes in. Hole 7. 339 feet. We're throwing our Nordic Phenom. Plan here is to go kind of straight down that gap and then make a left. And the red basket's off to the right. But playing to the yellow, we end up clipping a tree and ending up in what is essentially prison. So that's always tough. We're going to try another one here. FD1. See how this one goes. I have almost aced this hole before and parked it a few times. Today, maybe just not my day. Basically the same shot, so those trees are not forgiving. Let's see what we can do here. We are in the woods. We're gonna try out this stable buzz that we dyed, and see what we can do. We're gonna do a little Anheuser forehand flick here, and kind of just hope for the best. Really struggling with the bush in front of me. Go nice and high with it. Starts to pan and ends up in a pretty good spot. Not really going to be in a position to take a par here, but you know, everybody takes a bogey from time to time. Yeah, what can you do? So we're just going to do a little jumper up here. Leave that one wide enough, and just a little bit long. Almost had it, so we're going to take our bogey there. Anyways, hole 8, par 4, 493. We're throwing our Essence. This thing is just so freaking good. Flex 1 Essence. I throw really nose up and end up way down to the left. So, yeah, don't really love that one. Think we might want to take another try at it. Now, this hole is essentially dead straight. It's just well, you'll see the issues in a little bit here, but we're going to try the FD here on a bit of a flex line. Put some Anheuser on it, and it's going. I think it's going real nice. Looking forward to seeing where we end up on that one. But yeah, this hole can get really devastating really quickly because the upshot is a massive downslope, and if you kind of skip past the basket or start rolling, it's really just going to keep going. So we're going to toss an arowana down there and just see what we can get ourselves into. And the arowana is always a little bit straighter than I expect it nowadays. So we end up coming up a little bit short here, and we are just going to throw a putt here and see if we can take our birdie. It's definitely a scary one to run, as the roll away behind is definitely difficult, but end up hitting the band there and dropping. So we're just going to take our par and move along. That one feels like a decent par to get. Now we come up to hole 9, which is 165 feet. It is the best ace run on the course. Kind of uphill. I throw my koi here, and it doesn't turn quite enough, but it definitely sits us down up top. We are happy to be safe because roll-away potential on this one is also freaking brutal. We throw 2 putters at the same time and make our birdie. So that erases that bogey that we had on hole 7. Now, hole 10, 255 feet, basically straight ahead down a tunnel. This one is always tricky. A lot can go wrong here. A kick off to the left can be really difficult. A kick off to the right can be devastating. This one hits a bunch of stuff and ends up coming down safe, kind of in the middle of the fairway, but short. Happy to be safe there. So down to the right, you see it just kind of drops off into a field that's always playing as OB, and to the left, there's a bunch of pine trees that are all really close together. See if we can make a putt here. Chained out. Second attempt. Caged it. So we don't take our birdie there, but a par is just as good. Now we've got hole 11. This is 310 feet. Everything to the right of the left side path is out of bounds. We're throwing our Raptor here on just a slight flex line, and we just freaking pured it. That is just the best throw I've ever had on this hole. Gets us right up next to the basket, so hopefully we'll be able to make our birdie here. This will be my first birdie ever. You can see I'm freaking pumped. So, and yeah, not missing that one. That's nice and close, giving the thumbs up. And we are going to be moving on to hole 12. So yeah, hole 12 is definitely a tricky one. Definitely happy with the Raptor there. Hole 12 is a tricky one, 228 feet, kind of uphill, and then it's got to go right. I've been enjoying this MD5 on forehand, nice little hyzer forehand, and just letting it kind of get down there. So let's see how we do. A lot of risk this one. Hangs onto the fingers, kicks right. We are in a heap of trouble. Not happy with that shot at all. And we're going to try the koi now on a backhand line. This one tends to work some of the time as well. And yeah, she flips and she gets all the way up there. It leaves us with a long death putt. This is another hole where rollaway potential is very high. So we are in the woods. Had to hand the camera over to one of my buddies here. Actually, it was my dad, and we are gonna try and throw kind of like an over-the-top situation. We throw it, and well, you can't really see where it lands. Oh, you kind of can, I guess. And it's rolling, and then it drops. So let's see. This is kind of a spot where, you know, an easy hole can turn into a really hard hole pretty dang quick. Here's where we ended up. Not too much further forward. We're gonna try the splice on something stupid. So this is a practice round, but I mean, there's no reason to not have fun. So we're gonna try and throw the skipper. Big skip. Ends up way freaking long. We're just gonna try one of the MD5s here and just see what happens. And yeah. Anyways, here's where we ended up with the splice. We're just going to throw a little arowana in there on a flexi forehand, and it drops by the basket, and we take our bogey. Or sorry, I guess that was a 5. Yikes. Okay, double bogey. Oof. All right, anyways, hole 13, 255 feet. There's a straight line. There's a line to the left. I like throwing a flexi forehand with the splice down that left-hand side. There we go, and I think it clipped a tree there, but it's going to end up short, but we are definitely not in the worst spot ever. Now, the other location for this pin is another 100 feet kind of down to the left there, which ends up being just a freaking brutal one. Let's see if we can make our jumper here. Just missed it. Knowing me, I assume we're going to take a second try at it. Yep, here we go. This one, leave it a little wider. Just behind. So close. We'll get him next time. We take a par. No big deal. And there's our par putt. Done. And we'll be moving on to hole 14. Now, hole 14 is an interesting one. It's a 456-foot par 4. We are going to throw at both the red basket and the yellow basket here, because the red basket's like 260 and it's right in the middle of the field. We're throwing a KC Pro Rock. Put it on more hyzer than we want to, and it ends up kind of way down to the left. Not very good. Now we're going to take a shot down there towards the yellow basket with the Tempest. Just adjusting some things here. Oh, my camera stopped recording actually for whatever reason, and I had to restart it there. But here goes Tempest. Grip locked to the right, and I mean the Tempest doesn't really fade that much, so it ends up hitting a tree and dropping on the right side. The key here is to get to the left, because that's where the avenue is to get up to the basket. Right side is definitely trickier. There is a gap here that I didn't even know existed, but you know, I'm glad that I threw here because I've never been here before, and it's good to practice just in case you end up in the tournament. So throw our harp in there. Ends up coming up a bit short, but we are in the woods, so it should be an easy par, possible birdie. So see if we can make a putt. Pretty uphill. We're going to give the stepper a shot. Always tough to judge how much to give it. Throwing uphill like this, we don't give it enough. Hit the pole. We're going to try again with the arowana here. And give it a little more meat. Still having some difficulty getting there. So we're just going to toss them in for our par. And hole 15 is 285 feet. Going to be a forehand with the FD3. Like to go kind of between those two main trees and then start fading to the right. see what we do here. Really high. Really nose up. Not great. I have been kind of dipping the shoulder a little bit too much on those. I think it's causing the nose angle to come up. So we'll see what we're left with here. So we end up in the woods. We kind of have a pine tree in our way. We're going to just do a little flexy forehand over the top and end up parking it for our par. All right, so hole 16. Used to be 309, but they moved it up. I think it's like 220 now. Throw in the koi, throw it out there, let it turn, and then sit down real nice. Kind of clips a tree at the end there, but yeah, we're happy with that for sure. Gives us an easy birdie. Moving straight on to hole 17, 231. This hole is way harder than it seems. Can be a forehand or a turnover backhand. You can see the basket just to the right there. This line is tough with how the hill slopes and everything because it's kind of sloping away from the basket. Definitely kind of held on to this one too long. Ended up with a grip lock, and now we'll see where we ended up. Did end up getting all the way down there. We're kind of pinned high. Tricky camera angle, but we just have a little over-the-top Anheuser forehand to get in there. End up clipping a tree. Not really doing such a good job there, but we'll see if we can end up with a par. So here's our par putt from about 20, maybe 15, uphill. Not so difficult. Take a par. And now hole 18, 492, par 4. Starts in the woods, ends in the open, so we are going to try and send a PD2 through here. And that looks like it's sawed off, but it actually is not so bad. Being way left is actually a good thing. It leaves you with an open second shot. And we're going to try something stupid with the splice here. I've always wanted to hit this line. So we throw it almost on a tomahawk angle, but because it's so stable, it actually works its way all the way out of it. Ends up hitting some stuff and not exactly where you want to be. So we're going to play the PD2 here. As you can see, we end up with this nice open window. You can see where the red basket is. So basically the same exact shot for the red and the yellow baskets. We're going to throw a forehand harp here. I do have the space to run up, so we're going to give that a try. And harp on a nice kind of force over. And then fade. We have a look at it for birdie, but yeah, definitely not going to be too disappointed taking a par here. So let's see how we do. See if we can make this thing. For birdie. That was hideous. And of course, second one always goes in. So yeah, that's it for me, guys. I would like to thank all you guys so much for watching. And yeah, we'll definitely catch you on the next one. Let me know what you want to see. I'm thinking about doing some putting practice in the next video. So let me know what you think of that idea. But otherwise, you guys keep it real, and I will see you on the next one.